Hello guys, welcome back to the ESL Pro League Season 7 APAC Finals. It's our time of happiness. I was going to try and do something a little bit better than that, but sorry, I'm not on the desk, haven't been practicing this weekend. What I was going to say is it's time for our first 3 mapper of this tournament, which
makes me happy.
Is happy indeed. It's very good. And if there was ever going to be a match to give us 3 maps, it was going to be Order versus MVP, really, let's face it.
I'd have to agree with you there. These first 2 maps have been very, very good. I think MVPs look better in both, even on Train, which they lost. That was largely down to some big clutches starting to come through from Order and on Inferno. If you did just miss it, it was 13-2 into 16-6 for MVP, so they looked incredibly strong.
Very dominant indeed. Heading into map 3 has been MVP on map 2. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to impact the result here on Mirage, but what I am told is that MVP are starting on the CT side. They did win the knife round, so there's maybe a slight advantage there for them. I will say though that I don't think it matters too much whether you start on T or CT on Mirage. For Order though, maybe nice to get on that T side just to sort of warm themselves up a little bit because they were pretty cold there on Inferno.
But then again, MVP were playing perfectly to shut them out as well. Like we saw with Sicko, admittedly, he was on 0 kills for a long time, but that's not just because he was presented a bunch of kills and missed them. As the desk talked about, he was the rotating jungle player and got smoked off every single time. He couldn't get in to use the AWP, so that was good from MVP to shut him down, but we'll see what they can do this time. As you say, MVP on that CT side. Only got 1 utility player. Zion's going for a smoke and a CZ, and Solo's pushed in, found a nice quick shot into Alice there to start us off.
Yeah, nice little bit of aggression out there into the B apartments. Order are going to think twice about pushing so eagerly there on their own. Solo is still trying to challenge it. Takes a fair chunk of damage, actually. Not sure if that might have been a headshot from Liaz, but down to 40 HP is Solo. And now MVP. Just fall back into the B bomb site, but the information is gathered, the damage is done. And Order playing from behind now, but making their way into the B bomb site. The flash has come across, and now it just relies on these players of MVP to hit their shots. Solo does hit 1, and he's gotten 2 for the round so far. Nice work from him, but Hats has answered back. Zeph just trying to stay alive as long as possible to allow the rotators to come across before the bomb has planted, and he's actually doing really well of keeping Sicko at bay, keeping Hats at bay. Inevitably, he will go down, but it took a long time for Order to deal with him.
It did, but there's still plenty of time left, and that kill's going to seal it. Zine, flanking from behind, does go down. HSK is going to get cleaned up too. So that's a much better start for Order after losing that early player to Solo. They do manage to stabilize, get the frags, hit the entries. Hats does well, I think grabbing 3 kills in the end there. And the pistol round does go the way of Order on their T side. That's really the start that they needed, and they're going to go straight for the rifles. Hats, after that 3K, goes straight onto the AK-47, and I think that's what they need here. They really need to start this off strong and say to MVP, all right, you really wrecked us last map, but we're not out of this yet. This needs to be a conclusive round from Order.
Yeah, definitely, and we sort of said the same thing about Inferno, that if Order wanted to pick up that map, they needed to start off well. They kind of did the exact opposite of that. They started off really, really poorly. They were down 0-9, so a little bit of a change up at least for Order. It's favorable getting the pistol at the very least, but they want to make sure that they close this out. They have at times struggled against the pistols as well of MVP, so just want to see them slow things down and make sure that they check every single angle here. Don't give any opportunities over to HSK or Zine. In fact, HSK's done a lot of damage there, and Zine is still, as of yet, unchecked. Solo being a real thorn in the side of Order with that scout as well. Look at how low some of these players are right now. For Order, you can well see this one going the way of MVP. Zine, just perfect timing, does get a 2 for 1. He's traded out by Liaz, but now 2 versus 2.
This is very doable, especially with the scout on Solo. That can do a lot of damage given how low these guys are. Zeph's going to be locked out, but Solo is just waiting for Alice there. And Liaz should find this kill on Zeph, or between them they should find it, but still a concern here for Order. Liaz, though, will push in, and that leaves it all up to Solo, who had moved off the palace line as well and can't quite hit the flicker on Alice there. That might just be all she wrote for this one, unless something ridiculous comes out of Solo here.
Who knows? All he needs is a couple of nice shots out of that scout. If he allows Alistair to get back to Tetris, though, that's problematic for him, and indeed he will. So Alistair is going to be playing crossfire there with Liaz. And as of yet, Solo has not found any success. Liaz gets the job done. It was a good round out from Liaz in the end. Got both of those remaining 2 players and really secured the round for Order. A little bit worrisome there, though. But at the end of the day, as long as they can close it out, it was just the pistols for MVP. Order have a lot of money still to play with here. We're going to be okay.
We are indeed. And Order will be 2. So now, once again, a bye against Pistols for them. A true anti-eco this time, as MVP have invested nothing into this round. These 2 MAC-10s should do pretty well. Sicko gets dinked through the smoke. That's not the way you want to be starting off a round, but it will be the B take coming in for Order here, splitting through mid and short with the setup that they currently have. They've got a lot of util to make this safe, and it's only solo on B. Truly solo, as the rest of the players are towards A and mid for MVP. So this B take is the correct choice for Order. But even if they did choose to run to the stack, they're just up against the default Pistols, and I don't really see them losing too much here.
They have lost a bit of HP, so MVP might have something to play with, but Solo really under the pressure there on his own over on the B bomb site, completely flashed out. Really a very easy frag there for Imagine. One frag does go the way of MVP, but it's not enough to get too concerned about things here for Order. They're just going to be making sure they can get that bomb down. So I think another one though.
So it's starting to get a little expensive for them. Hats are still locking this line down though. It is where Glow is coming from in the 1 versus 3, so not really going to be concerned that they've lost these players here.
Hats just wants that AK, and Glow's going to be able to get it, but means the Galilla's now dropped for Order. Would have, of all the guns, the 2 AKs of course were the ones that they wanted to save through, but the Galilla also for Order would not have been a bad idea to keep. Still, it's the buy now for MVP.
They've got plenty of money as well. Liaz in particular, sitting up on just below $7,000, courtesy of the MAC-10 frags. He has always wanted to take the SMGs, Liaz, big fan of them. And on the side of MVP, they have one of said SMGs. Solo with the MP9, rifles out for everyone else, but no kits, limited utility. They need to win this round with the Angels, and they've started out the right way with the push mid, finding 2 frags for Zine.
Well, Sicko's done well to bring it back, though. 2 for him as well. Zeph goes down, but Sicko is dropped very low on HP, and Solo with that MP9. That's just Solo in a nutshell. He really loves to pick up those SMGs at any any opportunity. It got hard for me, Tim.
It's all right.
It's hard. Okay, life's hard.
Very difficult.
It's okay. MVP, they are still controlling this round. They've got control of mid. They're pushing into the Palace. The only thing is, they've got nothing over on B, and that's where Order's headed.
They have managed to upgrade Solo into the M4 though, as HSK grabs an AK, so there's no more SMGs, but look how much space Emax found on the bomb site here. What he doesn't know is that Glow is up in Palace, but this might even be enough for him to call the rotate through. Either that, or he's going to now backstab over onto B and try and help his teammates out, which looks like he will be doing. The CTs are near neither bomb site at this point. They've got full control of A main. They're pushing up into the B apps. So depending on how much time Order waste here, this might work out for MVP. They're behind all of the Ts.
They definitely have some good positioning, and Order are leaving it very late indeed. Sicko, if he dies here, which he won't, a nice shot. HSK gets the information there for MVP, but Imagine now the one that could potentially be wrapped upon from the back. Solo and Glow, still a very real opportunity of closing this round out for MVP.
Possibly, but at this point they're expecting them to be rotating in. So Emag's main job there was to help clear the bomb site. Once he did that, they know that Mark is not going to stay clear. That said, Emag will make sure it does. The Solo goes down, and now Glow 1v2. He's found the first frag.
He knows that Imagine is somewhere to his left. Suspects Liaz is playing the crossfire by Van, and he is correct in his suspicions. Not a lot to really get Liaz out of that Van spot, though. If he had an incendiary, it would have been nice, but not quite the case. Imagine with 2 nice shots, and looking sharp here on Mirage so far.
And Emag with the 3 kill in that round. He did really well to bring that back, considering it was Zine who got the double kill in mid. If Zine had got away there, or even if the player who was with him had got away, leaving it into 4 versus 3, that's a massive advantage for the CTs. But Sicko does a great job to trade both back, and from there, MVP, they had info all over the map, but with Sicko watching the flank, unfortunately, HSK got found out with that AK-47, and Order could close it out from there. Great work from Emag too in the later stages of the round. Now the push going to be straight into A, where Zine is playing close with the CZ, and 4 players are here now, with Solo lurking over towards the lurking Liaz.
He's a dangerous man with that CZ Zine, and once again proven he'll be able to get 1. Still, the trades are good enough for Order. They go 3-4-2. It's a pretty precarious position now for MVP PK, assuming that Order do actually end up closing this round out. Oh, that's a good shot hit by Sicko, or by HSK onto Sicko. In the end, Liaz gets the job done. A lot of money lost there for Order. And MVP are going to get another buy through here, but they're already down 5-0. It's very contrary to what we saw on Inferno.
And this is something we haven't seen yet for MVP's CT side. The double walkout.
Yeah. Well, not yet. Not on Mirage.
No. I don't think do we have it on Inferno? I don't think we had it on Inferno. We saw it on Train.
I feel like we may have had one round on Inferno.
Maybe one. Either way, they've got it out very early here. And they're limiting the economy of order as well. Liaz still has lots of money as he is the player who survived there, but everyone else is fully reinvested here. The buy will still be good though, so we can talk about economic damage after this round if Order lose it. Until that point, MVP need to get back on the board here. They're down 5-0, and this is the third map, so this is no time to be losing a bunch of rounds. In the meantime, Solo is trying to get aggressive into the apps again, just like on Pistol, and Sicko's found him out.
Yeah, it's a good start there for Sicko, but Imagine is traded back for MVP. HSK also drops here, so player advantage right now for Order. Zion's in a good spot though. That's does a little bit of damage actually before he does go down there, so it's all in all not too bad of a passage in play there for Order, but Zeph coming up with the goods once again. He's had an impressive series so far, and now stepping up. Oh, good flick from Liaz. Does shut him down, but it's 2 versus 2, and with Zion so close on the bomb site, Glow as well, it'll be tough to get the bomb down for Order to make sure they clear the site completely, otherwise they will give up a fairly easy round, actually.
Especially because they want to plant for apps here. Liaz really wants to plant for Sicko, and now he can't. Glow's made it work. Liaz in the 1v2, and Glow going to find both kills by himself. That was really awkward for Liaz at the end there, because with Sicko and apps with the AWP, what Liaz wants to do is plant for apps so that Sicko has a chance if it comes down to a 1v1, but he doesn't have time to plant anywhere that's open for apps with the MVP players that close. In fact, he has no time to plant at all, and that is why I said during that round, Jordan, that this, if it would have lost it, is where we need to talk about the economic damage. Look at that money.
It's weird, really, isn't it, for Order? You've got one player that's above 7k, and this tactical pause for Order is probably just them thinking, okay, do we actually want to sort of go for a bit of a hero buy in this one? They know that they've done a lot of damage in that last round. Only one player came through on the CT side for MVP. So if Order do buy into this one, they can get a couple of AKs, they can get the armor out, everyone else can go pistols. It's still a very scary buy on the T side, and MVP will have to work for the round. If Order close it out, that's a double reset for MVP, and Order's all of a sudden straight up to 8.
So it looks like, yeah, okay, so they've gone for passing some pistols out, buying utility, Liaz onto that hero AK, as we suspected. It's been pretty good so far this matchup, but will his single AK be enough to beat out all of MVP's guns? That is the question we're trying to answer here. And these two guys on A main here, Zion and Glow, getting very, very close. I'm not sure that Order are going to be ready for this. This is the perfect counter to the 8 execute, and here it comes. Kills start to come in. Zion goes huge, getting 3. And that makes it doable now for the rest of MVP.
Liaz has gotten 2, and he's still alive with that AK as well. The smokes are down for Order, so not counting them out just yet. However, the bomb still yet to cross into the site itself. If Alistair was the one here that had the bomb, it would be a much better scenario for Order. There's a hole in the smoke, though, at least for us. And so 2 for Zeph as he gets Alistair. That is going to be the round more or less shut down. It was a good attempt from Order, and I liked the decision to force into that round, but it hasn't really worked out unless Liaz can find some of that magic. A year ago, you would have definitely said he can do it. So far, today, he hasn't been quite as impressive, but he's been having a good map so far. 9-3. Solo gets behind him, though. And the round goes the way of MVP. A lot of damage done still to the economy of MVP there, though. So they're going to be able to keep that low.
And to be fair, MVP, they won that because they had the perfect counter read. Because Order's strategy in that round was to throw the default A smokes, then get themselves out onto A. With that sort of a buy, when you have pistols and the single rifle, the idea is the pistols do damage and the rifle cleans it up. So with the default smokes out onto A for jungle, CT, and stairs, the idea is that you limit the engagements you have to take. The pistols can do damage, Liaz can clean up. MVP play the perfect counterplay to that by having 2 players inside A main where they didn't get flashed out, they were ready for the push, and Zion grabbed 3. So that's a round that could have worked had MVP not chosen the position that they did, but now it's the good old waterfall strat trying to get the bomb down, and the CTs are standing strong on the bomb site. Everyone getting locked out. Great round for Zion.
Yeah, Zion definitely having a good time here on Mirage. Obviously eco frags, but still he's up to 14-7 after only 8 rounds. He's really been stepping up, and Order have kind of been throwing bodies at him, but he's been answering quite nicely. And he was very, very quiet on Train. So this is a good sign for MVP, even being down 5-3 now. Starting to get that ball rolling, starting to get the CT economy going a little bit. Order, they started off well, but they need this gun round to bring back that stronghold on Mirage.
And MVP, once again, are refusing to allow Order to take control of the pace of the play. Sicko at least hits the trade onto Glow, but they've already lost a player. The info is there. Zeph's going through to fight mid again. MVP, they don't want to give Order anything, not even the ability to dictate the way the rounds are going. As HSK has found another into mid with the help of Zeph. Brings it into a 4v3, 30 seconds gone. Not even that. And Order have lost 2 players.
Dangerous times ahead now for Order. Really allowing MVP some room to work with. And you can start to see MVP individually are stepping up. That was where Order has really been strong in this matchup, those individual plays, but all of a sudden it now starts to be tipping the other way. It's still early days here on Mirage, so anything can happen. But MVP starting to get some momentum rolling, and this could definitely be problematic for Order. Right now, the push out from Zion has found the bomb, but Sicko's found Zion, and that was a critical kill. If Zion would have got him there, was the round over.
Liaz in a great spot to cut off the rotation as well. He'll hear HSK going past him. Mag does burn a bit in a Molotov by the looks of things, but Liaz has all this info. They know the A site's clear. He'll call to his teammates that HSK might be in CT. You can see Emag's already waiting for it. Solo's quit out the app, so they can call that rotate, but Zeph, if he makes noise here, he'll be found out as well. And Emag is going to go for the contact play. There's the flashbang. Nothing at all that HSK can do.
Yeah, good work from Sicko to get the flashbang out for Emag, but the bomb needs to go down now. And it should just get planted in time. Solo is going to be the key player here. Zeph will go down. Do they know that Solo is coming from Palace, though? That is my question. Looks like Sicko is set up to watch it just from the little boxes below the balcony, but no, he's not. He's actually watching A main and CT spawn. Solo's managed to get himself all the way down. He should get the kill onto Sicko. Spotted him out, and Sicko had no idea where he was coming from. Sticking on the bomb here.
Oh,
Liaz.
No.
Peek, 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 peek. Just in time he gets there.
That was pretty close.
That was very close indeed. Would have been a round snatched away from Order by MVP.
But Order still regain control of it, I should say. That puts them up at 6-3 now. And these rounds are close, but Order are doing well. They have laid the info well that round as well to get out into the A-bomb site, sends Liaz in to listen out for rotations and cut them off from jungle if necessary, which he did. HSK had no chance in CT because they'd already commed that they had to flash him and peek it, and then Liaz cleans up a rotating Zeph. So, good round from Order, based around that positioning from Liaz. And now Solo's trying to get aggressive into us, but he's been caught out. Good luck, son.
Well, he almost got a big spray down there. Sicko does get tagged quite heavily. And this has slowed down Order just enough to allow MVP to make their way across to the B bomb site. So, Zeph, I was going to say, was going to be the one to hold things off, but not for too long as Imagine just shuts him down through the smoke. Glow gets flashed out. This is looking like a much better round for Order. Very clean into that B bomb site. And MVP left reeling after that. Their money is so low. It's going to be an eco. Double eco, in fact.
This is double eco territory for them. Saving this gun will be quite nice for Zion, but even if he does, he's got to save it through another eco as well. So it's not easy for him. But for Order, that looked a lot better. Solo, a little bit questionable, I think, to go that fast into B-apps. But then again, he does this every round, so who am I to judge? That one, it's unfortunate that it doesn't work out for him as Order do push. Any other round, he would have had that positioning and it would have been okay. So he does get caught out. Everyone from MVP, in fact, gets caught off guard by that push from Order. And one thing that has been working really well for them, I must say, has been their team coordination in terms of pop flashes. Because it seems like from most angles they want to peek, they're either pop flashing themselves or their teammates are doing it. And it's all working quite well for them. So now they're sitting up at 7 rounds on what is the final map of this decider best of 3 for Group A. Well, that's not really a decider, I should say a winner's match, but still. MVP going to call themselves a tactical timeout. Have a chat about what they want to do with this saved M4 as they are, as you said, in double eco territory.
Yes, they are in the bin economically speaking. And as far as the rounds are going, it's kind of getting that way. They're down 7-3. Double eco out still to come. Unless they decide to force buy into this round behind the M4, take the full eco next round.
But even if you do that, then you're just delaying your ecoing rounds.
You are.
So if you lose the force, you're in a worse position than you would be.
That's right, but there's still that potential maybe that they decide to force into it. MVP are a team that does like to force sometimes. Not so sure this is the right time to do it, but let's see.
Well, the game they're playing, if they do force here, which they're not going to do, but the game they'll be playing is, all right, if we force, we win, we can go up to 4 rounds, maybe 5, depending on how many guns we can save.
It resets the economy of Order too.
If we force and we lose, then we're looking at potentially 8 or 9 rounds down.
Yep.
So they choose instead to save, which I think is the safer decision.
Yep. risk versus reward. It's something that we talk about sometimes as far as Counter-Strike is concerned, and it's a low risk, low reward really for MVP.
That M4's gone down as well.
Yeah, it has indeed. Hat's done a good job getting all those players in connector. He spotted Zeph out as well. Everyone else into the B bomb site there for Order.
Might just be a nice easy ace here for Hats in the end. The last player is up on A. It's Solo who's going to push into him, so Hats can't quite find it. Solo shuts him out, but Sicko's there.
It was a good try, Hats. Next time, buddy.
Oh well.
8 and 3 up though is Order. Another eco to come still for MVP. Oh no, they're forcing into it.
So they decide to save last round and force this one. I did see an AWP out there onto Solo as well as HSK onto an M4.
Well,
so
they wouldn't have had any armor, Solo.
Surely not, but they've got the guns. Maybe they can do the damage. Let's have a look how they ended up. They've actually managed to get full M4s out. That's a lot better than I thought they would, but there's no utility and only one kit.
No kits. Well, one kit, yeah. No head armor. No armor at all for Solo. No utility. Oh, this is so bad. If Order lose it though, MVP's going to be grinning. And Zion, he gets 3, no 2, and an assist. But Glow has managed to do some damage there, and it's all gone wrong for Order. They've just walked into the stack of MVP players on the A bomb site. And that could have been disastrous really for MVP. If they lose that round, it's back to another eco. Now it's all on Sicko trying to clutch it out 1 versus 3. He knows the positioning of Solo. He's got some damage across there as well.
He also knows that Solo's made it to triple, so this could be the opening frag for him, and it will be.
Still needs 2 more.
Exactly. 2 players yet to find in the bomb in the open.
Maybe an AK might not be a bad choice for Sicko. They already know his positioning, so might as well go for it. Zeph closes it out for MVP, and it looks like a masterstroke really there from the CT side, but we could have been saying something very different had they lost that round.
That one all comes down to the sandwich positioning, though. The fact that they check that and Zion's allowed to get 2 kills and a dink off because they didn't fully check it. And I think there was a flashbang there helping him out as well. But that undoes Order. Unfortunately, he's allowed to get essentially 3 kills. Only 1 bullet needed onto that Palace player. And that now, Order will get the money to will have the money to get a buyout. They've even got full utilities. It's actually not too bad for them, but that is a vital round for MVP in terms of their economy. And now it's the default smokes out into A, as well as the Molotov. That Molotov is to get rid of the players close aim, which is what undid them last time Order did this. So they are adapting, and now they're going to fly out A.
Yeah, a lot invested into this round as far as utility is concerned, but HSK still under no pressure. Does get rushed down by Hats. Liaz as well to find a frag, but as of yet, Zion unchecked and unchallenged. Won't be able to get the second one. 2 versus 3. Solo and Zeph, a tough ask for them. The money is not good for MVP. This could again just be the straight up reset that they were hoping to avoid.
Still doable for them in the 3v2, and Solo needs to have a big round coming out of Abs here, because Alistair is going to be finding Zeph, so it's all up to Solo. He's got to make this work, and they are still looking towards him. Now he's going to get the first kill, but Hat's already here. That's an easy trade, and that is a big problem for MVP.
Great round for Order. MVP, double eco territory again for them. Could just pistol armor into this round, but well, you can't really double eco, can you, when you're at 9-4? There's only 2 rounds left in the half.
It's just a single eco and a force buy is the best they can do.
Or a force buy and a force buy. It looks like it's going to be the single eco, though. Zion's gone pistol and armor.
They do invest a little bit, but their money's pretty much on an even keel at this point. So they'll all be buying very similar things come next round. But for Order, this could be an 11-4 T side. And it could be the Order 2-1, which I think was the only one. Oh, Ben had an Order 2-1, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He's the only one with the Order 2-1 prediction. He might be right, but...
God, please.
Yeah, let's not let Ben be right. That'd be a terrible world to live in.
MVP, don't do this to us.
It's not all over yet. Zeph's decided to knife in the smoke, just in case.
Yeah, why not?
Chance knife.
It'd be nice to get a little bit of extra cash heading into the next round. Very unlikely and indeed impossible. So, Order. What are they going to have to go up against? Not a lot.
1
rifle, one M4 maybe. Solo decides to go for an MP9.
He'd better be dropping another one.
I'm not so sure. Oh, this is just Solo, isn't it, right?
Okay, he's bought full util. As long as he spent the rest of his money, that was my main concern there.
Yeah.
I was a little bit worried that he wasn't on the last round train, but he's on it. He's bought utility, so...
He loves those SMGs.
He does, and he is, or can be, very effective with them. Certainly very good with them when he's got his time to move, or room to maneuver.
Traditionally, though, that's when the rest of his team has M4s and AWPs.
Yes, and he's just trying to find the opening pick, and the rest of his team have the guns to be able to lock it down.
He's just being cheeky, aggressive somewhere on the map, and
He is being cheeky aggressive somewhere on the map,
is.
but Liaz is very aware of it. This smoke is going to give away that there's a potential for Solo to have pushed here. They've caught him out doing it enough times so they know he likes to.
There's also not that sort of fallback there for MVP if Solo does go down here. Oh, Liaz kills Emac. 1 for 1. I suppose for Solo it's not too bad considering the weapon that he did have, but Zeph gets run over by Hats. He's been having a really good time actually on the entries for Order. I haven't really mentioned it, but he's been quite solid entering those sites. And MVP struggling to get anything done in the first half. Zion just charging out. Will overwhelm Alistar. But he himself does get traded out. Blows managed to get one. Still needs to find another. And Hats again, another sharp shot hit by him. 11-4 up is Order. Looking good to put themselves through to Sunday as the victors of the winners bracket final here in Group A.
And that is the first half in this series that Order have had an advantage. The first map was a 10-5 half for MVP. The second, obviously, 13-2, as we saw. This time, they're up 11-4. It's the first time they've been in a lead, and it's a very crucial time for them to do it as well, as this is the final map in the series. The map picks have gone the way of the teams who picked them. It all comes down to Mirage, and Order have put themselves in a fabulous position to be able to close this out. And certainly they'd like to. They would, of course, love to be through to Sunday in that first position from their group, first seed. And we'll see. But of course, it's not all over yet for MVP, as they will take on the T side now, getting an execute out straight away in that pistol round, going for mid control against the Ts, or CTs.
Still Signature waiting for the loser of this match in the lower bracket final as well. If MVP do end up going up against Signature, we know that they've had success against them in the past. So they can't be too hard done by here. Not yet anyway.
For MVP though, it's a fake out into the B apps. One player having presence there and everyone else rushing up through Connector. Solo's going to find the first frag. HSK cleans up Hats as well. Sicko tagged and will go down.
Tim, I've got to ask, what do you reckon the conversion rate is for a team that's up like 11-4, 12-3, 13-2, something like that on their second half pistol? I swear, it's like actually 0%. I don't remember the last time I've seen it.
Yeah, it seems to be quite a difficult one. I mean, we've certainly had series before that we've cast. I'm thinking of one in particular with Greyhound up against, who was it? Control maybe? I can't remember. Something like that. In AUNZ, where they had the first half like 12-3 and then it went to double OT. The second map, they got 12-3 and then 16-3. Yeah. So, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, but it certainly seems to be a lot of the team who lost the half winning the secondary pistol, and now MVP going to go straight for the money farm out mid.
Maybe they just want it more because they need it more. MVP, they take a lot of damage actually there. Solo and Zion down to a one-shot. They have managed to secure the first couple of frags though, which makes you feel a little bit more confident, but look at the positioning here of Alistar. If he can creep up a little bit closer in the meanwhile, get some close angles with that CZ, and if he's aware that there's people coming in his direction...
Wouldn't it just be typical Order to lose the pistol and win the force buy in this situation?
In the 3 versus 5?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 versus 5?
I mean, I never said it could happen, but it's certainly something that we've seen from them before. And Alistar still hunting around here, but HSK is waiting for him.
Yeah.
Very aware MVP of the map control they do and don't have. And as for Hats, inside sandwich with a deagle and no armor. If they do go A, maybe if they don't flash him or they flash each other accidentally, he can find 1, maybe 2 while blind. But I still think this round is a little bit too far gone for Order at this point.
Yeah, MVP though, they don't want to make any mistakes here. Just making sure that they wait and see if there's going to be a push out from those CZs. Alistar is going to give them that info. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened had MVP just decided to push into Connector and not check the underpass. In the end, Alistar decides to run all the way back up towards B, and he goes down. Just Hats left alive on the A site, and he's got no friends over there.
Not even any Ts you can make friends with. They've all gone towards B.
MVP's made a party over on B, and Hats not invited.
Not invited. As you'd expect, when you're in a 2 versus 5 like that, the CTs are most likely either playing 1-1 or they're just gambling on a side. Yeah, so when Alistar goes down there in B apps, the thought process is, well, if we all run B and he's there, there's 5 of us, we can kill him. If we all run B and he's not there, then great, even easier. But better to commit and go together rather than split up and try and find him where he might get some favorable duels.
Yeah, not really much point there for MVP to be doing anything too silly. They're going to be able to close this round out quite easily. Still 1 eco yet to go for Order. That one was their pistol and armor buy. So this next one's going to be even less impressive as far as the money is concerned.
At least MVP will keep 5 players alive as the bomb goes off in that anti-eco. 3 AKs saved through. Just good for them. Order, as you say, will be on that eco here, looking to get guns out in the next round. Sicko, I think, will just be able to go for an AWP. I think it'll have to be glass cannon, but he'll be able to.
Well, he has definitely been saving in the hopes of being able to do so. You would think that...
Oh yeah, I was off a round on the round loss bonus. He'll definitely have an AWP.
Yeah,
I can do maths.
I was going to say, you'd think that he would know. And there's not really much point for him to do that unless he's actually going to pick up the AWP.
I love that stack from Order as well. We've seen that one work a lot of times, not even domestically, internationally as well. Sit 5 players in mid and hope that they push you, because all of the USPs together can have a good time with Hats on the Deagle for the long range. But instead, MVP call their bluff, they rush B. And while the pistols are now rotating in, Solo's doing well to get the second frag there. And that's immediately going to pull the rotate over to A. They've sniffed out the stack, Solo's called it, and away they go onto that A-bomb site. Yeah,
pretty nice flick there from Solo. All in all, Order not going to be getting too much done in this round. Kills going on to the MAC-10. Solo got 1 and then the USP kill, but Zyne also has a kill here on his MAC-10. So money's being built up quite nicely for MVP, but more importantly, they're not allowing Order to build up their economy. So while MVP is still down quite a few rounds, Order's going to take a little while to get going here in this second half, particularly if they don't win that first gun round, or if they do win the first gun round and lose the second. Then we could potentially see MVP really equalizing things here. All off the back of the pistol.
Maybe. Early days yet, though. All we've had so far is the pistol and the anti-ecos going the way that they should after MVP claims said pistol. But we'll see. EMAG will get caught out by Zyne as well, so there's a bit of extra money for that T side. And for Sicko, $2,400 into his bank account off that third round loss bonus. $5,500 in total means he can get the AWP. No head armor, but he can go for body armor if he chooses to, which is what he'll be doing. Everyone else in his team going to buy into M4s as well. And for MVP, it's the full AKs and full utility out as well. So this is a good chance for them to keep going with this round streak they've got. They've got a full execute in their pockets, essentially. They've already thrown some basic utility into mid. Smokes for window and short. Molotov into connector to block Sicko out. They will be going B very shortly. Upstairs just doing some jump spotting. And now with the flashbangs falling over, will fall back. And here comes the push for MVP.
And here comes the hold for Alistair, Liaz, and Imagine, as they all find themselves a kill apiece. That's a nice shot hit by Sicko. HSK not going to be able to get much done there. Sicko closes out 2. That's a great round to win for Order, but it's just 1. Need a couple more here to really stabilize that economy, really put themselves in a good spot, and really put the pressure on MVP.
That said, that was a good round. The crossfire was excellent from them. They had the player on site, the player at short, and I think one connector as well, helping out the short guy. So they get all the kills that they need to, and then from there, it's Sicko's job to rotate in, pick up the last 2 with the AWP, which he's more than happy to do. Good to see him fragging with that gun. It's certainly what Order need to pull them through the rest of this. But MVP will be back onto a full buy here. And Alistair's lucky to escape with his life after HSK has a shot at him jumping.
Could be the last buy here, though, for MVP. Depending on how many guns they are able to save through, the money is getting a bit low. If they lose, yes. But if they do lose, then Order will be really sitting pretty. Shot missed by Sicko. Was a difficult one, to be fair. Nice amount of grenade damage out, though, onto Solo. Does put him quite low. Order know that mid control has been now given over to MVP. They will react accordingly. Sicko's going to rotate back to the A-bomb site. Hats back into mid, just to make it a little bit easier for both of them.
And now the short play is going to come. The flashbang is there. Liaz dodges it, but won't dodge the bullet coming his way. Lots of pressure on Alistair now with just that M4A1. And HSK is more than ready for him. Swings out, hits the AWP shot, opens up the round, and already Order are backing out and saving their guns.
Yeah, super clean entry into the B-bomb site. If Alistair would have survived for another couple of seconds there, maybe if he would have gotten a frag, it gives time for the CTs to rotate across, and then there's a chance for a hold. But MVP, they just hit 2 really, really nice entries. And now they're on the hunt as well. They want to get these guns away from Order. They know that their way back into this is to keep the Order economy low and keep them on the ecos. That's exactly what they are putting into effect right now. So far, MVP, all 5 guns alive. And Imagine the last left for Order. He is going to be ramped upon here by Zyne. So if he's not aware that there's someone coming through Palace, it's going to be all of the guns lost for Order.
Is indeed about to be just that. Zyne steps out. Will grab himself the final kill as well. So Order, unfortunately, their B hold is cracked by essentially the single flashbang. While it didn't blind Liaz, it forces him to turn away. And once he gets entry, there's far too many people for Alistair to deal with. HSK in particular, just locking down the angle with the AWP and waiting for that peak from there, or to try to save their guns. But MVP, already with healthy amounts of money, go on the hunt immediately and shut them down. So it's a little bit risky. They lost some guns, but they don't. And Hats, I think he did get into underpass unspotted there, but MVP aren't fighting it. 3 players top mid, 1A, 1B. Playing a default, looking for pushes, looking for kills.
Playing that long angle as well with the superior weaponry. Close angle for Glow though, and it goes the way of Hats. 4 versus 4 here. Order do only have the pistols, but the AK now in the hands of Hats. And he was pretty sharp throughout the T side there for Order, so dangerous to let him have an AK. Is
that a running AK headshot?
Who knows?
It looks like one. I hate to see that, but MVP, that's what they needed. Get rid of the palace pressure. Well, minimize the palace pressure. Now it's gone. Zon heading in on cleanup crew duty. Leah's already here and close. Hats on the other side of the map, saving that AK. Will get himself, or might be able to hold on to that AK, I should say. But MVP in the meantime have completely locked out the A-bomb site. They know that Hats is on B. They know he's got an AK-47. They're all going to spread out, make sure he doesn't push for it, but he shouldn't be. That's a nice cleanup there from from MVP, I should say, against the pistols of Order. Definitely
going to be nice for Hats to save this AK through if he can. And it seems like Order aren't really going to be hunting too hard. They are starting to do a little bit of exploring now that the bomb has ticked away a little bit. So Hats needs to be careful here. Could be the difference between a buy and another eco here for Order, if he's able to save that one through. Will at least be challenged here by Zeph.
Ooh, will he find the timing? Zeph's actually gone out the window, so Hats has heard this, and now he's just going to dance around. Allow Zeph to jump out behind him, so the AK will be saved.
Means they can get a good buy.
Yeah, they can, with that gun dropped over to EMAG, who was the lowest on the money. The rest of them can force into this. But it's still not going to be a great buy. It's better than nothing, but it's rifles, no head armor,
decent
limited utility. On 2 players, but 3 guys with really not much. They do have the 1 kit onto EMAG, so need to keep an eye on where that ends up. It's on A for the moment. That's something that's instrumental if they have to grab that after he goes down. But we'll see what MVP choose to hit them with here. For now, it's a default over towards B, trying to catch out Alistair on the jump, making sure no one pushes mid or into Palace. And MVP this time, just going to play it out slowly and see if Order make a mistake.
Order haven't shown many tendencies to play too aggressively on their CT side when they've had the guns. So MVP might not get that freebie that they want in this round. No point really running into anything too headlong crazy here just yet for MVP. They're doing a decent job so far on their T side, bringing it back closer and closer, but as of yet, they've not been able to catch up to Order. It looks like they'll again search for some control into mid.
And for now, Order, happy to give it to them. They are playing the info off of short. They've got a player at Sicko in window who can swing out if they need as well, but they're happy to let MVP try and play this one. This short take now, and MVP, or Sicko I should say, the smoke's faded. He might get a look in here. Diaz is waiting though, and he's changed up his position. He's been on short every single time. This time he's in the ladder room. Sicko's found the 1 kill, but now the push is coming into A.
Yeah, they know that the A-bomb site relatively undefended. Positioning of Sicko kind of gives it away. MVP very, very quickly reacting off the back of that. Get the bomb down. It's a 4 versus 4 in Order. They've got that 1 defuse kit. We need to keep an eye on where Imagine does end up going, but no utilities really to get Order back into this part of the map. Only the single flashbang from Imagine. It's going to need to be perfect. And Zeph, speaking of perfect, gets a great spray down. Sicko and Alistair dropped in CT spawn. That's the retake, all but shut down for Order. MVP should be coming away with another round. Zion is going to gift the free AK over to the connector, but it does not matter. MVP will come away with it, and they're back up to 10. Order's back onto a reset.
And that's really annoying for Order. You can see it there as well. Sicko just heading his hands after he got double sprayed down in CT.
Happens.
It does happen. There's not much you can do about it when someone's going to hit that shot on you. He's trying to swing out for the trade and caught a headshot. So it's unfortunate. Order are still 2 rounds in the lead, so they're not out of this yet. But yeah, that's exactly it. Alistair peeked out for the trade on Sicko, and Zeph just holding down the spray. So attack pause from Order. They're 2 rounds up, but considering they were 7 rounds up at the half, this is not a great position for them. MVP certainly showing some fight coming into this 3rd map. Order, though, need to not get too dejected. They're by no means out of this yet.
No. Could be a double eco out for them here again, though. There was that one M4 save through for EMAG, so a little bit of discussion here now as the tactical timeout has been called by Order. Where are we going to be putting EMAG? What are we going to be doing? Do we play aggressively? Do we stack a site? 4-1 split? We'll find out what the option is shortly. Looks like it's the 4-1 split. Hats will be playing on the A site. No default setup, actually.
2-1-2 with EMAG towards connector to reinforce Sicko. Needs to have a big impact with that rifle, though. Everyone else is just on pistols. There's 2 CZs and a Deagle. Sicko's bought nothing in the interest of saving to get an AWP out, which is something that he desperately needs to have some really good impact here for Order. He can do stuff with the rifle, Sicko, certainly a sharp player with them, but the AWP is where the majority of his impact does lie. And certainly he'll be needed to help shut down HSK here. Alistair's looking for a pick into apartments, but no one's going to give it to him. And this mid-heavy setup from Order, while there is 2 players here, it could be undone by just one more flashbang.
It's a smart choice, though, from Order. They know that MVP have been hitting that mid part of the map quite extensively. Sicko's able to get one. Imagine another. A bit of damage done over to Glow as well. So he'll be a one-shot for that M4 if EMAG can hit a headshot. All in all, I like the setup there from Order.
The 2 players close to mid, one playing anti-flash that does allow them to get the kills through. Sicko with a USP managing to clean up a headshot. Great work from him. And now look at this from Hats. He's just taken palace control seconds after Zion left. He heard him rotate out and immediately decided to push the issue. That's a lot of info that Hats is gaining right now. He'll be hearing them jumping around, setting up these smokes. He might even choose to go through and catch them.
Order's playing this one really, really smart right now. And Hats, if he just wraps around the back here, he doesn't need to do anything right now. EMAG, all he needs is one frag and it should secure the round. He goes through the smoke at the right time, but he needs to make sure he doesn't strafe back out. Otherwise, Solo gets a free kill. Alistair goes down and Solo spamming through the smoke. Imagine still jumps out. He gets 1 for 1. Liaz another one. And it is now just Solo 10 seconds on the timer. Surely he can't win this round. All Hats has to do is hide and deny the bomb plant, which is exactly what he will do. Solo's going to go down there. Order, they come away with a crucial round victory. 13-10 up now, and they win an eco.
That was complete balls of steel from EMAG there as well, getting spammed at in the smoke.
Yep.
Obviously, in a situation like that, if you just lost a player in connector, you're sitting inside a smoke, they start shooting at you. If you panic, you know, you might just jump out of the smoke and die. You might go back and trade, but instead takes his time, swings out, still kills a player on A before getting traded. And that kill is what really makes it doable. That allows his teammates to help step up with the pistols. And for Hats, it was a pretty easy closeout. So the buy is here for MVP, but it's a double AWP on the CT side. I like the idea to boost up Ali on that secondary AWP, but he's been tagged by HSK. So no frag. They actually both hit shots on each other. Ali comes out of it 2 HP worse.
Yeah, well, that's not very fair, is it? How does that happen?
They hit the same shot,
yeah,
but the damage is different.
Yeah, you riddle me that one, Tim.
No, I can't.
Maybe the T AWP is stronger than the CT AWP.
Oh boy, can you imagine that? Like side-based buffs? What a weird place that'd be.
You mean like having an AK or an M4?
Yeah, but like on the same gun.
Yeah, that would be strange. Anyway, 13-10 up, Order. They do not want to get reset again. Every single time they've been able to pick a round up, they've subsequently been reset straight away by MVP PK, and that's a good aggression out from Hats. Just to stabilize things a little bit, slow things down again a little bit more for MVP.
The flashbang opens that up perfectly, and it's the bomb carrier that he kills, so that's a lot of info now. They saw that when he dropped the bomb carrier, he was setting up a smoke, so they expect that it was going to be an A take, and Zeph's just thrown a flashbang and flashed himself, gives Hats the opportunity for almost 2. Solo left on just 5 HP, and EMAG playing underneath. Doesn't need to get the kill on Sign as Sicko steps up. Look at the HP on these guys. Sicko, great shot. It's all onto Solo.
Hats just really composed there in A main. He knew he had the backup of his teammates with the flashbangs and saw the shadow as well, which made life really easy for him. He could set himself up and be ready for the push from MVP. He's done so much work there. And an easy cleanup for the remaining players on the A bomb site. Now Order up to 14. MVP, they're again through with the buy. They had a lot of cash coming into it, but now if they lose this round, they'll be down 15-10. And the force buy will have to come out. It's not going to be a great buy. It's this round, super, super important for MVP.
They need to find a way to take this one. And of all the players that Hats could spot last round, it's the bomb carrier setting up a grenade. That gives away that the rest of the players are going to be there, that it was going to be an A take, as you wouldn't have the bomb there throwing a grenade for any other reason. But this time, it's going to be MVP straight up of short.
Wow.
And that's a great flashbang to clear out Liaz. Ali as well with the secondary AWP. He has been spotted, but he's found 2. Sicko's here as well for the crossfire. They're shutting down MVP. The double AWP does so much work.
Order 15 now. MVP the force to come through, but it was a great hold on that B-bomb site from Alistair. Definitely getting something going with that AWP now. And all of a sudden, the tides have turned. We thought MVP were coming back into this one, but Order, they come away with that pistol round. Now MVP staring down the barrel of a 16-10 defeat.
And being knocked into that lower bracket, which is not at all what they wanted. This buy, though, is not great. 1 AK, 2 Galils. The UMP and the CZ having to be resorted to as well for Solo and HSK. The double AWP is still here on the CT side, and it was so great for them last round. What have Order got for us to change things up here? For the moment, looks like they're trying to wrap into mid, but Liaz is ready for this unders pressure. Sicko's just scoped in on top mid where the bomb and another player are coming from. That's a great entry from Zeph, though, to start us off.
Yeah, another one. It wasn't enough last round, though, for Order. So for MVP, it's an advantage, but Imagine is very good at this connector play. He knows there's a couple of players very close by to him. If he were to jump through, could be precarious for him, but he's deciding to keep himself at back. Allows MVP up into the window.
This could be dangerous with this position of Solo, but Emag playing this one passively, just waiting. If he goes through the smoke here, there's the flashbang, but he's actually past Zeph and still finds...
Oh,
no, he doesn't!
no.
That spray being missed is a real problem now for Order, as that will allow MVP to explode onto this bomb site. Has to go up big, but he can only find the one, and it's all onto Ali, 1v4.
Yeah, Imagine was... I think he thought that he got the kill already.
And then looked away from it twice. He thought he got it, looked away, went back, looked away again, and then went down.
Alistair might not even be able to save this AWP here, and indeed will not. It's still enough money in the bank for Order to buy through here. Emag can drop for Liaz. Oh, we're getting a little bit closer. Still match point for Order, though.
Round. It is indeed still map and series point, but man, you thought they had that round. Emag, unfortunately, just loses control of it. Happens sometimes, unfortunately. You know those times when you thought you killed him, you knew you killed him, and then it just didn't happen. But that will allow MVP just the slimmest of chances back into this game, and they'll take hold of it with both hands. Pull this one back now. Only 4 rounds needed for OT, and Sicko, I think, spotted him on the jump. Liaz is here looking for this kill, but Liaz has been found out on short an awful lot by this MVP side.
Zeph gets tagged quite low, though. And still an advantageous position for MVP right now. 5 versus 4. Imagine decides to take matters into his own hands, though, pushing into mid. Gets himself a kill, but a trade back from Zion. Hats goes down. And MVP rotating over to the A-bomb site. Imagine still the one to need to get work done. He's caught off there by Zion. Sicko's able to trade, but what would have happened if Sicko got that frag before Emag went down? At least there would have been some presence on A. For now, it's looking really tough for Order. 3 versus 1 now for Sicko. The bomb yet to go down. He'll get a free kill there onto HSK. Rotating his position nicely with that AWP.
This is actually pretty doable for Sicko. This is incredibly dangerous. All it takes is one slip up, though. He needs to look the wrong way just the once. He's going to go through and take down the bomb planner.
It's a 1 versus 1 for Sicko. He doesn't hit the shot, though. An MVP. They come away with the round. He did not know where Glow was. It was very doable, like you said, for Sicko. He denied the bomb, but not the second player. And Order now, they have to take a save.
Oh, that's so close from Sicko. Very unfortunate that he can't land it. But MVP now, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, it's just the default pistol, surely not. But they will be getting their 13th round here. Alistair, unfortunately, can't quite capitalize on the damage that's done. No one can, in fact. It's Zeph with the triple. And that's going to be Order facing down 15-13. 2 rounds for MVP now.
Whatever, that round's not the one that we really wanted to see. Get this one out of the way, Sicko. Just jump out in mid. You're not going to be able to win a 1v5 with only a USP. Let's get on to the gun round. Now the question is, does Order take a save again here? You know, pistol and armor, get the full shebang, get the double AWP, or even the single AWP. Right now they can't afford one. Or do they decide to force into this round? I mean, it's not really a force. It is going to be a buy with M4s and with utility, but oh, there's an M4. So I think that option has been given away. It looks like we've got a bit of a pause.
Yeah, that's attack pause for the CTs of Order, but man, I don't know, like they're both difficult choices because of course if you save one, you're risking overtime because you let MVP get to 15-14, but the trade-off is you give Sicko the AWP.
Yeah.
Whereas what they're doing now, going for the rifle buy, sure, they end this game earlier. But if they lose this, their money is pretty shoddy for next round, which will be the last round of the half.
They definitely won't be able to afford an AWP next round.
Exactly. So the opportunity here is to end it here, or play to overtime, or end it next round, or hit overtime. So it's a difficult choice for them to make either way. It's a very rough situation to be in, but they're going to go for the buy here and try and close this one out. Limited utility available too.
The way I see it now is that they've given themselves 2 chances as opposed to just 1. If they ecoed this round out, or if they bought just pistol and armor, you don't really expect to win that round. But this one is definitely a very winnable round right now for Order. So it does make sense, this decision to buy. But Sicko has been very good with the AWP. And he's probably their most informed player as well. You really want to see him with the AWP here, but that's just the way the economy has found itself at this late stage of the game. And MVP still have the possibility to come back into this one. They need 2 more in a row to push us through to overtime. Order are fighting hard still.
Slim with a chance here. They've changed their setup a bit now. Emphasizing short control and connector control. Not really touching B at all, and they have been using a lot of players in mid. It's Liaz who's been found out. This time though it's Alistair, but the trade is there. That's a better start for them, and Sicko's now starting to step up, makes it into a 1 versus 4. Liaz might just have done enough now.
Well, not just Liaz, but Sicko as well. He got 2, so let's not forget about him. Zion in the 1 versus 4. All but impossible for him. It looks like Order are going to triple peek him. The information is given to the CTs now, and here goes Emag looking for that final kill. He's decided to just play it a little bit safer though. With 20 seconds on the clock, there's no real need for Order to do anything. Zion, he hits the 360! He gets 2! Holy moly, Tim. Even if he doesn't win this round, that was... Well, you know what? That was kind of a YOLO play. He thought he was going to lose. He probably still is. There's a player behind him, but that was something special still from Zion. But 16-13 up on the board there. And it's Order to go through to Sunday. They take first seed out of Group A. A long series. 2 very long maps and a short one. But Order get the job done in the end.
That was an amazing series for Order. They managed to pull off that reverse sweep as well, but annoyingly, Jordan, you know what that means?
What?
Ben's right.
Yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate indeed, isn't it? But let's hear from the man himself. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, boys, it's Sandman here, Australia's #1 esports analyst, coming at you live from ESL Studios. Greyhound, they're going to be versing Order tomorrow. It's a big one for them now. It's as a result, I suppose. I don't know whether they're probably happy with this almost, as opposed to going up against MVP. But Order, bringing it through, almost let it get away at the end, but they get the game, they get through.
Yeah, well, very convincing ending there as well. They had MVP on the ropes for quite a few rounds. They ended up doing just a nice little mid control to counter MVP's sort of fakes towards middle.
Yeah.
Very, very smart play. I'm just super surprised MVP had such a poor CT, and that's really what this whole game came down to. They just didn't have enough rounds to work with to make any big risky plays or anything. And, you know, then it just seemed like every round on the T side was a clutch. Even if they were, you know, going into the sites or whatever and just getting 3 or 4 entries and then sealing the deal, even that just felt like a clutch, because it was like they're on the comeback train. Every round matters. And they were just slowly clutching their way back to try and even the score. So, yeah, I was just very surprised. The T side from Order was pretty rudimentary, I thought, but it was just more so MVP's defense, or retakes in particular, were just lackluster.
And I wanted to follow on with Ian's point, because he was saying before this map, you would prefer Order starting on the T side, because the CT side was what they were struggling with, and to the end they were struggling. They were up so far after their T side, which was just them hitting their shots, just getting their trading game together. Hats had a really, really good T side, and then MVP, I think the chance that they let slip was when they were down 9-12 and they lost on that anti-eco.
Yeah.
There were pistols out, there was armor, but just losing that round, I think that sealed it for Order. They had all the momentum afterwards, they had the money, and they just had rounds to play with. It just seemed, it was a matter of time before MVP PK came back, and then CZ's happened.
What were your thoughts on that buy coming into the last round, Ian? We were talking about, are they going to eco once more, or are they going to fight it out here? Obviously, it worked for them.
Yeah, I agree with it. It totally makes sense. Even if you lose that gun round, you can still put together a mismatch buy or a lolly bag or whatever and go to overtime if need be if you lose. But at least this way, you're just giving yourself that one extra chance rather than another eco, which didn't turn out well, for the hope of one round where maybe Order realised, you know, too many AWPs, too many chefs. You know, just one AWP,
Oh, this one.
a
Look
couple
at
of
this.
M4s around the place. I want to point out this round here by Sign, right? If you've got a guy who can do this, why are we not doing that more often earlier on, going for that individual play? The problem is they didn't have any rounds to work with. So every round from the get-go on the T side had to be their best. They had to show us all their best tricks and their best strats because they couldn't afford any risk. I think they'll be very disappointed with how they ended up on that Mirage map.
How do you think that MVP are going to be feeling overall after today? They obviously haven't been playing at their best. We saw Inferno. Inferno was good, but that's it. Everything else has been pretty average.
I mean, to be fair, Order definitely steps it up in that series as well. What they brought on Train and Inferno and moments were lackluster on Mirage. They cut a lot of the nonsense out, where they came in, maybe not the A+ game that we've seen from Order, but enough to get the job done. MVP, they just didn't match it. We were talking about them getting out of that second gear and getting into the top gear. They didn't do it on Mirage.
Yeah,
and
even
that was the lack of desperation, I think,
Even
ultimately.
this morning against SC Absolute, they, you know, 16-14.
They just did the bare necessity there. And for me, just Mirage, I mean, MVP, they're pretty structured. Their CT side revolves around crossfires, teamwork, flashing, whatever. That fast-paced action that the Aussies have on their T side is kind of unsettling for them. You can see the rounds that they won were because somebody didn't check a corner. That's literally the only reason. So for me, it's just MVP's CT side just needs a good look at, especially against the Australian meta. Very hard to predict. Don't try and make any reads or anything. But also, towards the end, I thought on Mirage there, Order could have just spent somebody for some information here or there. I was getting upset with like the Hats aggression. Maybe that was over the top at A ramp. It worked a couple of times. Maybe no need to keep on doing it. You know, EMAG got a bit unlucky that one round. That was pretty funny to watch. But apart from that, I thought MVP were doing a good job of deconstructing the CTs. But on their CT side, they weren't really doing anything to understand what Order were doing.
Well, let's go and take a look at our updated bracket and see where everything now sits. MVP, PK going down to Order 2 and 1 in the upper bracket final. As we said before, Signature has closed out the lower bracket round 1, 2 and 0, which means MVP up against Signature is our final best of 3 of the day. That's what's coming up next. Now, we haven't seen Signature play MVP here in this tournament yet. And look, it's going to be a big ask for Signature, but it definitely must feel doable for them now.
I think so. Yeah, sorry, Kev, you go ahead. I do think that Signature will be in this with a shot because it's just the way MVP played. They'll be very upset.
Yeah, and if, especially Signature, we know that they're very sharp. They absolutely just wipe the floor with SC Absolute. They come into this, they're all guns blazing, and they're young upstarts. And what better way is it to defeat some of the most experienced hands in the scene? You're going to be feeling good about that. They have no expectations on themselves. They know they're up against a much better opponent, whereas MVP, maybe feeling a little bit desperate, they need to be bringing out the goods right now.
I just don't feel like MVP would have come into this thinking, let's research Signature and get an idea of how Signature play, whereas Signature, I mean, everyone here knows MVP. They're a household name.
Exactly, and for good reason, right? But today the results have not gone that way. For those of you who are Aussie CSGO fans, we are sending a team to Dallas. I said it earlier, it was a little bit early, but this time we are locked in now. So that's a pretty big deal. Let's talk about that. Going through the Dallas finals, it's May 18 through to 20, and only a couple of weeks after IM, and a ton of, I suppose, good preparation for these teams here as well, short of, I guess, Tainted Minds who aren't going to be at IM, but are in tomorrow. They came through top seed in their group. They'll be feeling good if they get to verse Signature. Not so good maybe if they have to go up against the likes of MVP though, Ian.
I think they'll be prepared. I mean, I spoke to Ferg earlier. He's had a quick look at MVP, and you'd be a fool not to, I guess. And for me, look, you can know MVP as much as you want. At the end of the day, knowing MVP isn't what got Order across the line. Honestly, it was just they just outshot MVP. They worked together as a team. They were a better outfit on the day, and that's why they defeated them. And when Tainted Minds come into versing MVP, or should that be the case, MVP will just have to have that similar sort of mindset. You know, we can know as much as we can, but at the end of the day, our systems need to work, and we need to work together to make sure they do.
Well, we have 3 teams qualified through to tomorrow's finals. We've got one yet to go. It's our lower bracket final for Group A coming up next. MVP up against Signature. A best of 3. One team goes through, one team goes home.
first two players. Zeph needs to come up with something big, and he will get the bomb, but there's players wrapping up on the back of him, and he has to turn around and deal with those 3 kills so far for Zeph. He can't get any more. You want to see MVP starting to recognize it, but now perhaps the round might still go their way. Zion comes up massive with the CZ, and MVP. That's very well prepared for that. Now has himself an M4 to work with. It's an opening that Order need to make use of. HSK somehow gets a collapse. Hats might just jump on it and try and defuse while the fight is going on, but MVP, they are very aware of that one. Zeph denies it, and that should be the round all but over, even though Liaz is coming up with some frags. HSK, he's going to get the knife kill to boot, and that's perfect on your APAC. All Zion has to do now is close this one out, and he will be able to do it. Liaz goes down. Zeph has not spotted him. I thought he was looking. Oh!
Sharp.
Clean up 1 or 2 of these frags quickly off that fake defuse, however. There's going to be 1 kill for MVP, and that should all but secure it. The defuse will be very tough now for Imagine. He's watching the right angle. Solo will peek out, and not enough time here for Imagine, I don't think. Unfortunate. MVP just buying
towards construction, but the smokes are there for MVP, and they go out early. Liaz has an opportunity. The flashbang is perfect, and he's going to drop 2.
Yeah, going to be their entry into the site. Solo's holding a nice angle here, though, and he will get the first frag. Opportunity now for him to get the second glow. Still not spotted. You'll get EMAG. This is a great crossfire for MVP, and Solo hits the final shot. Great work again.
To run away. They're up 6 rounds. They've got 2 players over 10k. They're very happy. Solo with a nice double spray, but the Molotov is too good.
Indeed it is, but so too is HSK. He's going to drop off the pot plants wisely. Solo's gotten 1 as well. But HSK can't get anything done. It's the better of Imagine. Now it's a 1 versus 2. Sicko's been spotted out, and MVP.
No.
They close.
Spray it, but he can't hit it. Goes for the AK and might just take it down now. That's the diffuser gone. They've won the round just based off that. There's no time, I don't think, for that diffuse to come through. Sicko will drop. I'm not sure.
Not enough time.
Banana control, and Solo's found himself the first pick. The spray from Zeph is just perfect. Solo does go down, but Zeph's still here. Now only 1 kill. It's all on the Hats 1v4.
Not a lot that we're expecting.
Especially because they want to plan for Abs here. Liaz really wants to plan for Sicko, and now he can't. Glow's made it work. Liaz in the 1v2, and Glow going to find both.
Yep. Risk versus reward. It's something that we talk about sometimes as far as Counter-Strike is concerned. It's a low risk, low reward, really, for MVP. Well, everyone else into the B-bomb site there for Order.
Marchman can have a good time with Hatchman and Eagle for the long range, but instead, MVP call their bluff, they rush B, while the pistols are now rotating in. Solo
They all find themselves a kill apiece. That's a nice shot hit by Sicko. HSK not going to be able to get much done there. Good map. Only the single flashbang from Imagine. It's going to need to be perfect. And Zeph, speaking of perfect, gets a great spray.
He's the one the wrong way just the once. He's going to go through and take down the bomb planner.
It's a 1 versus 1 for Sicko. He doesn't hit. Decided to just play it a little bit safer though. 20 seconds on the clock. There's no real need for Order to do anything. Zion, he hits the 360. He gets 2. Holy moly, Tim. Even if he doesn't, he still is. There's a player behind him, but that was something special still from Zion. But 16-13 up on the board there. And it's Order to go through to Sunday. They take first.